completely improbable story of how America grew. And trust me, it was anything but a sure thing. So yeah, how did it happen? I mean, how did a continent that was basically ignored for 100 years turn into the world's #1 superpower? Well, the answer is just a crazy story. It's full of strategic gambles, a ton of luck, and an expansion that happened so fast it literally redrew the map of the world. All right, so the story really starts with something that's kind of hard to believe today. For a really long time, the big European powers, they just didn't care about North America at all. It wasn't some prize to be won. It was just this massive obstacle getting in the way of where they really wanted to go. I mean, think about it. When Columbus sailed west, he wasn't looking for America, right? He was looking for a shortcut to the riches of Asia. For empires like Spain and Portugal, the real prize was always the spice trade and, the huge gold and silver mines they stumbled upon in Central and South America. North America, by comparison, it just seemed kinda empty. Not a lot going on there, or so they thought. And that right there really captures the whole mindset. While Spain and Portugal were getting fabulously wealthy, plundering the Aztec and Incan empires, North America was just an afterthought. The real action, all the money, was happening way down south. But of course, that couldn't last forever. After about 100 years of being mostly ignored, other players, we're talking England and France, started to look at those huge unclaimed lands and think, maybe there's something there. And that's what kicked off this slow burn race for the continent. So by 1754, this rivalry just boiled over into a full-on war between Britain and France for control of North America. But here's the thing, it was a pretty lopsided fight right from the beginning. Just look at these numbers. The British colonies were booming with over 1 million people. New France, on the other hand, only about 60,000. In a war fought over this much territory, that population difference, well, that was a huge problem for the French. So it's really no surprise what happened next. Britain won, and it was a decisive victory. France had to give up Canada and all its land east of the Mississippi River. Just like that, in one fell swoop, Britain was the undisputed master of eastern North America. They'd basically kicked their biggest rival right off the continent. But here's the funny thing. In a classic twist of irony, winning that war actually created an even bigger problem for Britain. Yeah, the very same colonies they had just fought so hard to protect were about to become their absolute biggest nightmare. See, to pay off its huge war debts, London figured, hey, the American colonies should probably chip in. And as you can imagine, that did not go over well. The colonists were furious about this idea of taxation without representation. They protested, they fought back, and yeah, eventually that one issue sparked a full-blown revolution. But even winning the Revolutionary War didn't guarantee survival, not even close. The new United States was actually on the verge of total collapse. Its first attempt at a government, the Articles of Confederation, was a disaster. It was designed to be super weak, with almost no central power. So you had 13 states basically acting like 13 different bickering countries, each with its own money, its own trade rules. The whole experiment was failing fast. They literally had to scrap the whole thing and start over with a new constitution just to keep the country from falling apart. Okay, so with a stable government finally in place, the United States was about to enter a period of growth so explosive, so unbelievably fast, it would define the nation forever. This is where the story really takes off. And the first giant leap forward came from a super unexpected place, Napoleon Bonaparte. Now, he'd had dreams of a French empire in America, but honestly, he had bigger fish to fry. His #1 goal was defeating Great Britain in Europe. So he's thinking, hey, if I sell this huge Louisiana territory to the Americans, it'll make them stronger. They'll become a new rival for the British, a real headache right in their backyard. It was a purely strategic move. And the price for all that land, get this, $15 million. That's it. With just the stroke of a pen, the United States literally doubled in size overnight. It has to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, real estate deals in all of history. And that was just the beginning, the spark that lit the fuse. The next 50 years were an absolute whirlwind. It was just one thing after another. Boom, 1819, Florida is purchased from Spain. Then, 1845, The independent Republic of Texas joins the Union. A year later, 1846, the Oregon Territory is secured from Britain. And then, 1848, after the Mexican-American War, a massive chunk of land, including California, is handed over. I mean, in less than a single lifetime, that whole dream of a nation from sea to shining sea, it actually happened. This expansion fever got so intense, it led to one of the weirdest laws in American history, for real. It was called the Guano Islands Act, and it literally said that any American citizen could claim any uninhabited island anywhere in the world as U.S. territory. There's just one catch: the island had to be covered in guano. Yep, bird droppings, which was super valuable as fertilizer back then. I mean, that just perfectly captures the sheer audacity of the time, right? America was just planting its flag on anything it could get its hands on, no matter how small or, well, messy. And believe it or not, that law is actually still on the books today. Wild! All right, so the continent is basically conquered. But now, the United States had to face its own deep internal problems before it could really step up and become a true world power. And that massive division was, of course, slavery. The issue ripped the nation apart in the absolutely brutal and bloody Civil War. And the victory of the industrial North, it did more than just save the Union and end slavery. It forged a much more powerful central government, and it totally unleashed the country's manufacturing power. That's what really set the stage for America to become a global economic giant. So just a few years after the Civil War ends, another incredible opportunity just falls right into America's lap. Russia needed cash, so they offered to sell this massive territory called Alaska. The negotiation was ridiculously quick. The American Secretary of State offered $7.2 million. The Russians basically said, deal, and that was that. The Russian ambassador apparently said later that he probably should have asked for more. You think? Okay, so by the end of the 1800s, America was ready to start flexing its muscles on the world stage. A really quick victory in the Spanish-American War just shattered what was left of the Spanish Empire. Suddenly, the US had control over Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. And in that same huge year, 1898, the Hawaiian Islands were also annexed, which gave America a critical foothold right in the middle of the Pacific. And the final piece of this whole global power puzzle? It was an absolute engineering marvel: the Panama Canal. By literally carving a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, the US could now move its powerful navy back and forth with incredible speed. And that, right there, cemented its military dominance over the entire Western Hemisphere. So let's just recap. In a little over a century, the United States went from a bunch of overlooked colonies to a full-on continental empire and a rising global superpower. The land was conquered, the industrial engine was roaring. So a brand new question faced not just the nation, but the whole world. What was America going to do with all this newfound power? And honestly, it's a question whose answer is still shaping our world every single day.